Hey there everyone, this is Monkey Strapno from the Guys About Games, back with some more Final Fantasy 9 in depth. Yeah, and here we are in Fossaroo. I have a couple things I want to quickly talk about before we while we're just passing the time, I guess. Which is, first of all, I never showed off what Clara looks like now, but we'll have a much easier opportunity to see that later. So I'm leaving that for now. What was the other thing? I had two other things on my list to quickly chat up. I wanted to go over here because I think if you come over here right now, we get something. There's like something you can only get right now. Or is this a different area? Yeah. I think this is fairy earrings. Yeah. Nice. If you don't do this now, you have to like redo the entire dungeon basically. Which, I mean, you know, whatever. It's not like a really particularly big deal. Sorry about that, I needed to pause for a second, but it actually gave me an opportunity to quickly check out. So, two things. First of all, I really wanted to point out how the part of the game where you're basically in Lindblum, and it's just like, you know, prepare yourself, you know, this is Alexandria territory. I don't know why, but I really like that part. Like, there's something really interesting, I don't know, like, really cool to me about the fact that it's just like, I don't know, it's hard to describe, but it's just really interesting to me that it's just like, you're basically in a situation where you're just told to, you know, you get given some money and then you're just told to basically, you know, use your resources well and figure stuff out. Which, I don't know, I always really like that part. And the other thing I actually want to talk about is Dagger and her relationship with her mom. So, a common thing that you'll see at this point, especially at this point, is that people just think she's a complete idiot. Wait. This switch is flipped. Yeah, okay, right. Yeah. I always get a little confused with this dungeon, because this is, the switch one we press here is, it flips the switch, but this doesn't change where we go from the main area. This changes where we go from here. So now we don't, instead of going back to the main area, we're going to a different area. But, everyone thinks Garnet is a complete idiot or is like beyond naive, and I think it's important to note a couple things here. So first of all, I won't go too much into this particular aspect, but as Garnet has pointed out and other people have said, you know, Braun hasn't always been some power-hungry, you know, like dictator or whatever you want to call her. Like, she hasn't always been so negligent of her daughter, right? You know, before her father died, right? Braun was, you know, actually like Garnet said, you know, she changed when, you know, the father died. And it's another thing, I think a big thing too to point out is that, and I think people often don't realize this, but Garnet doesn't even realize that Braun was gonna have her executed, right? Because that was something that only like the only people who knew that was like, you know, Braun herself, Beatrix, Zidane, Vivi, Freya, and then they told Steiner. But that's it, right? Garnet doesn't know that because it's not like they ever told her, right? And, you know, like, so it's like, it's no surprise that Garnet would then maybe like, what? My mother wanted to, you know, what do you mean my mother doesn't care about my life, you know? Like, she didn't know. And they don't really tell her otherwise, so, I mean, really, like, you know what I mean? Slap. Do. We also shut off the air racket in the half part, I think. I think we did. Off the top. Yeah, we did. We're gonna get hit with a fight right here. Yowza. It doesn't do very much damage though, because we're beefy now. We'll just group Thundara. I'm trying to think of anything else I can mention in regards to that, right? Like, the whole like Braun wasn't always like that gets brought up a little bit more later. And I also think it's important to note that at this point, Braun is Garnet's only family at this point, right? That's all she has left. And I think, like, Garnet's still very much in the mindset of, like, I can change my mother, right? So, of course, she wants to believe the best in her, you know, like, she knows her from when she wasn't a villain, you know, or whatever you want to call it. And like, yeah, I think that even knowing that, I still think it's definitely kind of naive. But it's like, I think people are way too quick to just call her an idiot, you know what I mean? Like, Garnet makes a point of this. She always feels powerless. So, of course, she wants this to be something she can do, right? That's the whole like big thing behind her Eidolons, why she was afraid of them. Which now that I mentioned that, I didn't even bring this up, but once once you get to that point and she's like, oh, I'm not afraid of my Eidolons anymore. Now all of a sudden the MP cost for all of her Eidolons goes down a ton, right? I think the exact amount is before she gets them extracted, they're all 4 times higher than they're supposed to be, essentially. And after they're extracted and she stops being afraid of them, they go down. Obviously, that means that, you can't, like, it's there to, like, make sure you can't really use them, but you can actually, if you grind a lot, you can get enough MP to use all of the summons we saw, which we didn't really get a good look at because of that, but, I'm not grinding to show off stuff we'll just see later anyways. Like, screw that noise. Anyway, we're back over here. This dungeon's, it's not the greatest dungeon, I'll say that much. I feel like it's a little too, like, it's very much just like it's just do things in the right order, but, like, at the very least, like, I love the concept of riding the beetles and, like, giving them food. Like, it's maybe not the best to play through, but it's very cool in like, artistic style and all that jazz, so I think it makes up for it. It helps booster it a lot. And like, even though the switch thing is a little tedious, like, it is still like cool that it's like, oh, these guys don't like water, that's why. Oh yeah, this guy. By the way, this guy, hey, you made it this far already? You want to buy something? So this guy's a shop, and it's not just a regular shop, he has weapons. I think he has a couple things we can even buy here that we couldn't get before. I think, yeah, we can add him invest, obviously, but I think we can also get... Oh, no? I thought you could buy a Gladius for Zidane here. I guess I was wrong. Not that it matters because we stole it, but, Could buy remedies from him, but I think we could already buy those already from Alice, the item shop lady. Please come visit again. No, we can't buy cards from him. I'm pretty sure, I forget... Well, I mean, obviously, I'm pretty sure this is definitely supposed to be a different guy, because that doesn't make any sense. We just saw him. Doop bop boop bop boop bop. There's this place, which is kind of fun. Yeah, now we have 2 more switches. I forget what we want to do, because it's always funny. It's the question here isn't which one do we want, it's which one do we not want, because we don't want to go the right way, because we want, we want goodies. I think actually if you go the wrong way here, though, you actually get, like, kicked out. Let me actually walk back in here and double check, because we can see when we select the switch. Well, let's just check it out right now, I guess. These screens are pretty small, so you can usually get by without an encounter, as long as you don't walk into walls too much. And admittedly, there is that part where, like, this feels very exotic because it's very it's a lot very involved for this dungeon, and it kind of makes sense that it is because, like, we're going to a new place, so of course it's like, well, there's a bunch of shit to do, right? And we're going to the new continent, which is a big deal. Oh, yeah, there you go. We went the right way. We got a Lamia's tiara. Now that I think about it, I haven't really been looking at the description of items, so let's take a second here to read some. So, like, Thief Dagger made of Mithril, Standard Thief Sword. The Exploder is a sword made by processing Trouble Knife. I always thought the description of this was strange, because it's called Sword made by processing Trouble Knife, but we didn't make it using a Gladius, because the Gladius is what you think would be the Trouble Knife sword dagger, because it teaches Zidane Annoy, and if you look here, what does Annoy do? Oh, you can't look at it because I'm silenced! I have to curious silence. I actually didn't know that. That's kind of funny. It makes sense, but it's funny. I can't look at the description. Causes trouble to the target. That's what Annoy does. So I always thought the description of that was a little weird because of that, because, like, it doesn't... Like, it doesn't mean that it's wrong, but it's like, you'd think it would be something different. Anyways, we have a weapon with an ice spirit dwelling inside. We can see it actually has ad status freeze, which we didn't get to show off because I don't think I've used ad status, and Steiner was killing everything one hit anyway, so it wouldn't really matter. Spear used by Dragon Knights, spear made of mithril, spear adorned with brilliant gems, originally made as a decoration. You know, long-range weapon that holds mysterious powers, combat rod, adorned with beautiful stars. Mysterious fork that causes the opposite effect of soft. A lot of the basics, like bronze is just made of bronze, mithril will almost always just be mithril, whatever it is. It's like mithril gloves, or gloves made of mithril. Gloves with the thunder god's power dwelling within. Dude, wearing it will make you popular, I love that. A hat that holds magic powers. Mysterious banana makes you lightfoot. Here's Lamia's tiara. Tiara worn by Lamia. Wind damage reduced by 50%, which is nice, because there's actually a fair bit of wind damage in the future. Helm worn by soldier trainees, made of iron, made of bronze. Headgear that raises spirit. Helm made of mithril. This one raises holy damage, though. Silk burns easily. Clothes made out of leather. Plate worn for combat. Plate made of bronze. Vest braided with mithril. I like that, because it's like, it's not just a vest made of mithril, it's braided with it. Plate that provides brimming strength. Very durable vest. I like that some of these descriptions are like, almost feel like they're descriptions of what they are, but then you get things like that. This is less like a description and more just like someone saying like, this is a very durable vest. Let's see. Armor made of mithril. Armor made with chains. Boots with good traction. Shoes packed with magic. Buckle protected by mysterious powers. Scarf that raises strength. Hair ornament enchanted with various powers, worn by woman. Woman! By singular woman. Good job, me. I like that we have two of these with the same description, just one raises fire and one raises ice. You can also notice how all these like restore HP, which we haven't really seen yet, but I think that's interesting. We can also check out anything we haven't gotten a chance, like the power belt. Belt that raises strength. Magic choker! You know, I guess Vivi's kinky like that. God, I can't believe I made that joke. Robe made for mages. Earrings that raise spirit. Scarf raises strength. Fork made of mithril. Light dagger, easy to handle. But the Lamia's tiara is a piece of headgear that only ladies can wear. So Vivi won't be able to wear the Lamia's tiara, and neither will Zidane. However, remember how I mentioned, you might see where this is going, Quenya kind of defies gender roles in regards to like a lot of mechanics? Quenya can wear the Lamia's tiara too, which is kind of funny. It gives her clear-headed, which she doesn't really need, but because I'm probably going to give this to Garnet for now, because this will give her confused, and it also gives her pretty hefty magic defense, which helps because she has the lowest HP right now. So you know, she's pretty tanky with that equipped. Everything that raises... Oh yeah, the fairy earrings raise wind elemental attack, so that'll be good for like birds and stuff. Alright, let's get out of here. We're gonna head right back. I have to be careful because I think it's not this one, but I think it's actually the next one where if we try to take the wrong path, it actually backtracks us way into the older parts of the dungeons. You have to be careful. You end up losing a lot of time like that. Boo. 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 Alright. So basically, we're just gonna flip the switch and just head back out. This is what I mean though, like this is kind of silly, because like, I understand the concept, but I wish they did a little more. Like, the last couple switches are in depth, there's a little bit more to them, but like, the first like 3 or 4 is like, it's just, either you flip the switch or you don't flip the switch, you know? Right? Like, there wasn't really a difference there, it was just, if we went the wrong way, we go then we get an item, and it's like, well, I want the item. You know what I mean? So it's like, you're getting rewarded for fucking up, which, I mean, that's kind of how it always is. It's kind of a weird meta with RPGs, where you always want to go the wrong way first. This is a fun little room, though. It's like, look at all these weird statue things in the wall, and if you try to walk by them, they'll push you down with water. And cutely enough, it kind of push you down the water, and then you actually have to push a button to get out. It's a quick time event, you know? Except not really, because you don't get punished for messing up. You can just sit there forever. Try to think. I think there's another switch in there, but I forget. Like, the thing with these things is that, yeah, they're a little weird, because instead of, like, it's not just go onto them, they push you down. It's actually, like, specifically, like, if you go to, like, a certain point of them, you know what I mean? Like, If I go right up to this statue, if I try to go... But I forget how you get this thing to push you down, actually. You might not even be able to. Like, the one to the left of me will only push you down if you're right under it. But some of the other ones will, like, do it if you're, like, anywhere near them. Like, I think if we try to approach this from up here, we're fine. But if we try to go from down here, it'll push us down, yeah. I'm gonna try to just... Oh, well, we'll get a fight. You know, that's fine. Because we haven't seen... There's enemies we haven't really gotten a chance to see yet. We've actually been doing this efficiently. And I do want to eat a monster in here. Because there's one thing we have to eat for a spell. Hey, there's the bats again. Remember these guys? They'll appear in slightly bigger groups this time, but you know. Since Zidane has bird code, these will probably just die in one hit. Yeah, easy peasy. Jeez. Garnet will do some good damage too. Because she has her wind racket. Boom. That's not bad, honestly. And like this thing will start doing like, you know, Mega Absorb, but like we're gonna kill it before it gets a chance to really do anything. Also, Garnet's tranced, but we still aren't really getting a chance to see Eidolon yet because not till we get to like another boss fight, really. Eidolon is one of those trances where it really is only generally good for boss fights because most normal fights won't last long enough. Her trance is phenomenal, but it is just like really only useful for bosses, and it's not necessarily because it sucks. It's more that it's like if you use her Eidolon in any boss fights or like any non-boss fights for next while, it's pretty much just gonna kill anything it hits anyways. Right? Because it did like what, like 1,000 damage last thing we hit? That's quite a lot. Alright, where do we... Ah, damn it! This room's a little funky because like it's fairly large, but it's like a bunch of thin pathways, so it's hard to figure out where you need to use the flower. There we go, these dudes. I love the way these dudes look. Like they're like these weird little like manta ray things, but if you actually look at their faces, they look super pissed. Feather Circle. I don't know why they look so pissed. You know, actually, since we're here, why not? Let's try using Annoy. Annoy is honestly like it's low MP cost, but it tends to not be very useful. And the problem is that because, well, first of all, because obviously it's only useful against groups of enemies. But the thing is, you know, it only is useful on physical attacks, I'm pretty sure. I'm 99% sure it's physical attacks only. And also, you know, like, obviously any boss will just, like, you know, boss fights in this game are almost always against one monster. And, like, the few ones that are multi-target, I don't think you can annoy them anyways. Annoy also doesn't have the best accuracy, so, like, this might just miss. Oh, no, it hit. It is actually useful in this situation, so I'm glad we're getting some use out of it because I'll try putting everything to sleep, and I'm gonna White Wind, and we'll scan with Garnet to see how much HP these things have. Nice. We actually put 3 of the 4 of them to sleep. That's much better a track record than before, where Vivi was regularly missing everything. This is where scan is useful. So let's scan you, since you're the one I... Wait, which one did I hit? I think I hit you. So we'll scan you to get an idea of how much health you have left. Meanwhile, we'll have, you know, Zidane can just steal from these guys. Feather Circle level 13. But yeah, you see, they only have 300 HP or 600 HP in their aerials. Like anything we do would kill them. They're weak against Thunder. That's interesting. Actually didn't know that. Ow. Alright, we'll get Vivi to cure his trouble here quickly. We'll have Dagger attack you and see how much... that, like, because it spreads half the damage, it's pretty useful for, like, getting, this thing's low health. But you can already see the problem, though. Because it's spread damage and it does this, it's like... Wow, it actually spreads the damage and it didn't wake them up. I didn't know that. That's cool. Level 4 Holy. So that's another level-based skill. Also, I noticed that, like, Annoy ended up not being useful because I just ate them anyways, but whatever. We put them to sleep, too, so I mean, really, it's like, whatever. I mean, it is useful because now Garnet's gonna be able to kill these things in one hit, I think, right? Just one-shot you. Oh, no, not quite. I guess that makes sense because she got the bonus damage from it being asleep. Maybe she'll be able to finish it off, though. There you go. Smack you, because Zidane already stole from you. and we'll finish you off. You got anointment, so we already made up for it, kind of. Though someone else got annoyed because I didn't get troubled. You can see why trouble is not very useful though. Like it's only useful against big groups of monsters, and even then, like at the most you'll get like half damage against them. I think the problem is the game is too like the game gives you so many like group target spells anyways. It almost feels pointless. Like we just got Ramuh, and like Ramuh is like the like all of the summons are basically designed to be used against big groups of enemies. And like Ramuh can't miss, you know, because it's magic damage, which can't miss. Compared to Annoy, which I think Annoy's accuracy is like 50%, which isn't low for this game standards, but it's not high. Like some of the highest accuracy stuff will be like 60%, 70%. Or, you know, Knight, which can't even miss. So in this area, if we walk right over here to this corner, we get a survival vest, another new item. We already got all the stuff. Now we can put this on, which gives us vest that raises spirit, which does in fact raise his spirit by a fair bit. Also gives him some nice defense, but lowers his match defense, so it's not all good. But we'll put it on for the new stuff. Also gives us some new abilities. So let me see here. We have counter, but he hasn't really been using it. Mug. But Mug is like pretty straightforward. I think I'll probably go over them in the half part. Mug deals like it isn't just like you do a physical attack when you steal something. It does a certain amount of damage based on a couple things. Like I think it's based on your spirit stat actually, which because of course it is. Everything is. We have everything here. I mean, does Vivi have add status? Might as well put that on because like I think the add status from the Oak Staff is pretty much as accurate as actually using slow, and at least Vivi gets a little bit of damage in. So I might as well, like, why not? Sure. So as you can see here, this is like a little dead end area. Alright, there was nothing we could do in here. And there's no flowers in here to get back, so you have to basically head back to the dungeon. But we got the survival vest, so that's useful. Like, look at that close-up view of their faces. They look so mad. Yeah, I can see we got 86 damage. Mug doesn't usually get a ton of damage, but like, and like obviously like if you want to like steal something for a while, like it's not very useful in that regard. And it'll like wake stuff up, but it can be useful. Like it's chip damage, so like it's kind of just depends on what you want to do, basically. And I think it's important that they make it like that because even though it's not the best, like the fact that it has downsides is like kind of important because like. I feel like Mug in a lot of older Final Fantasy games is like you just always use it because it's so good. Like it's basically just you do damage and you steal. So like you can just be stealing from everything regardless. Right? I'm gonna steal from you, hopefully get some anointment. Oh yeah, these things have Demi, eh? We haven't seen this before. Wow. I did like, what was that like? 30, I think it does 40% in this game. It's not quite half. And there's a reason why it's not quite half, we'll see later. Because eventually, you know, obviously we'll get access to Demi too, it's black magic. I think actually Vivi's next weapon gives him Demi. I think actually there's another weapon that can give him Demi too, a little earlier. Well, not a weapon, but an accessory. I think actually we'll see that not too long from now. It's gonna be a little bit though. Because, like, technically, we aren't even supposed to have the Oak Staff yet, I don't think, right? So, not giving you everything right now. They don't hand out Vivi's black magic like it's candy, you know? Hell, there's one of his spells you can only get from, like, Chocobo Hot and Cold. What the? That was a... It really looks like I should be able to walk left here. I have to, like, walk way up here. Ugh. Alright, I forgot about this thing. Where does this take us if we leave here? Alright, so this is basically where that cave would have taken us, so like... In a way, actually that was still useful, because that was basically like a shortcut, because we can talk to this guy here. Wow, I can't believe you made it this far without getting hurt. This is my territory, go dig somewhere else. I'll let you excavate here in exchange for a potion. For a potion, huh? No way! You're Your loss. Sure. So this is, you know, kind of a funny thing. Thanks, buddy. It's actually kind of weird. Like, usually you pay for stuff, but here you actually have to give them a potion. So if you don't have potions, you kind of get boned. So excavating is really weird. Because despite what you might think, instead of it being like you have to excavate certain parts, what they actually want you to do basically is like... It is like you have to dig in certain spots, but... it kind of works, like, it's basically the same thing as Chocobo Hot and Cold, actually, in practice. Not quite, but in execution, that's pretty much what it is. You basically just want to dig here in one spot for, like, a while. There isn't always going to be an item where you're digging, which you can't tell, because I think it's just random where there's items. But, I think it's usually, like, you want to dig in, like, relative to where, like, the fossils in the wall are. Like, you can see, like, there's some bones up there, so we'll probably dig up there. It's kind of... This is a really, really weird mechanic. I struggle to even call it a mechanic. You can actually get some insanely good things from this, though. Like, you can get some accessories that are, like, things you wouldn't normally be able to get for quite a while. We'll try digging here. I know you can... I'm pretty sure you can actually dig up a potion. Yeah, well, we got ore. There you go. What does he say if I talk to him? Are you quitting already? Are you sure there's anything here? I'll dig a little more. If you kick him off, he actually puts you up here, which I guess in a way is kind of a shortcut. So let's dig on like the wall up here. There's a spot where most people know to dig, because it's pretty obvious looking, but we'll just try actually looking for things here for now. Like, I know there's some good things, and like, I'll go once again, I'll go over in the half part. I mean, we got ore. Hey, we got another ore, and we only took one dig that time. You know, now that I think about it, I'm not sure if it even matters where you're digging. Because we got that ore in one try. Who knows? I mean, 2 ore is still nice, because it's 2 ore we got in exchange for a potion, which potions are dirt cheap. We basically just pay, you know, it was basically just 150 gil, just, you know, you have to go actually get the potion yourself. But yeah, if you couldn't tell, there's a pretty obvious spot right to the right here. There's a bunch of crumbly looking walls. Was that more ore? Man. Start digging on this side. This is a pretty weird spot to dig because you can't really see where you're digging here, technically. I'm butt mashing so hard I didn't even I'm missing what I'm digging up. I'm pretty sure that said ore, though. I'll slow down a little bit because my thumb's getting tired from butt mashing. Alright, so this spot, you know, that's pretty obvious there's something here. And if you dig here for a while... Coup. Kupo. I wonder what's behind this wall. What could possibly say Kupo? Kupo! Can't dig that anymore. Though we get it's a funny looking like little like skull. Like, what's that supposed to be like? I guess technically it's probably supposed to be like a T-Rex. Can I help you, Kupo? We can shop from him. I think you actually buy potions from him. Yeah. So you know, if you don't even need to go anywhere now if you dig up from this guy, which it's kind of funny that it makes the dude useless. But you know, we can get some letters from Kupo. Deliver a letter to Kupo, of course. It's also kind of interesting because even though we're in like this weird game state where first of all you have a pickaxe on you and second of all you can't get encounters right now, we can just like save with this guy. So if you just want to keep digging here for a while and not have to like re-give him the potion, we can just keep saving. I don't know. I'll dig a little more. I'll dig it like right to the right here. See if there's anything here. We got some ore and we got the Moogle. I don't know. I don't usually bother with this just because it's like compared to like Chocobo Hot and Go, this is really boring because it's literally just like just pick a spot and dig and maybe you'll find something. And so some of the times some of the things you have to dig for kind of take a lot of digging, and it's hard to tell if like you don't even know if I don't even have an idea if I'm digging in the right spot, right? So who knows? I'll try to find one more thing for a little bit here, and if I can, I mean whatever. You know, no big deal. Maybe I'll even just cut to when I find something, because, like, man. Okay, well, I've been digging it for a while and I haven't found anything, so screw it, whatever. Let's just save. Let's save, Kupo. Put down our second, our mid-progress stream, whatever you want to call it. There we go. Save over here. We're just gonna head out. We're just gonna go to the next area. If you try to leave, I forget what happens. Oh, are you quitting already? Yeah. I've had enough. Are you sure there's anything here? Yeah, I know, hey. I have no idea how that works, to be honest. Like, I know it works. It does, probably, maybe. But how it works, don't ask me. Anyways, here's the big switch. And they even give you a warning with this, Treasure Hunters Association. You will be shut out once you flip the switch and go outside. Because, yeah, that flips the exit switch. Let's get sprayed down by Mr. I don't know. Walrus Face. Yeah, Walrus Man. Walrush Man. Oh, that's a classic joke. And with that, we're actually, I think, done with this dungeon. I mean, Fossaroo is fine. Like, I wish they did more. I actually forgot that was the end that fast. They don't even do anything interesting with that. The switches kind of don't really amount to much. I remember there being more, but I was wrong. Because I remember that room being a little more intricate. But yeah, now we're stuck here. Fossaroo exit. We can't get out of here. There is some light here, though. I think a big thing, too, is, like, I hate that, like, Fossaroo has, like, its own theme song, but you barely hear it. Because, like, pretty much you take 2 steps into the dungeon and the Gargan Roo song starts playing, because it's, oh man, look at the Gargants. There's light. There's no mist here. And yes, indeed, we're on the world map. And hey, take a look at this, the outer continent. And yeah, as you can tell there's no mist because you can actually see. It isn't just like a giant blurry mess of mist and crap. I actually do not remember what you can find on the world map around here. I know there's griffins, because it's some monsters from like earlier. And yeah, you can find Zagnals. They're pretty underwhelming given, we fought them like 2 dungeons ago. It's not a bad source of experience, well, AP though, because I think they still get 2. And then just stab it a bit. Get some good Queen of damage off, and we'll shank him with Zidane. Eventually it'll electrocute itself, and then if, because it's electrocuted itself, I bet you Zidane doesn't kill this thing. Okay, he killed it. We're good. With that thing just barely, we definitely would have gotten Thundarid in the face. Do 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 boo whoa whoa. So yeah, like I mentioned back when the Mist Continent thing was happening, you can't get encounters when that text is happening, so it's a good chance to just like book it over here. And hey, look, a new Q's Marsh. But I believe, yeah, you can already see way over there, there's some chocobo tracks. I don't know if we'll get to them before we get an encounter. Nope. Alas. I wonder if we're in the marsh area still. Maybe we'll get a marsh encounter? Nope. Oh, we found a new monster though, Goblin Mages. Yeah, remember those goblins we saw in the very first area of the game? Well, now there's, there's mage versions of them. It's actually, actually, first of all, let's silence you if I can. Yeah, we'll silence you. Because obviously, if we silence him, he doesn't really do much. We want to eat this guy. My status effect look is atrocious. You know what? I'm putting you to freaking sleep. Screw that noise. Screw you. So now I can't steal from him because I have Mug, but, that's fine. Now let's go ahead and scan him to get an idea of how much HP he has. I forget how much. I don't think they have a ton, but it's not like They're a little more tougher than you might think. I think it's like around the realm of like 800. Because they're level 15. Yeah, they, oh wow, almost 1,000 actually. It's quite a bit more than I thought. So like they have like 887. So let's try to poison him. For lucky. Poison will stick. Poison's pretty accurate, so like yeah. Now we can just kind of chill here and wait for him to take a little bit of damage. So since he has 800, like he had almost 800. Well, we can just scan him after like. Let's wait for the damage to tick like 10 times. Or maybe like 3. I'll just count to like 12. Let's say that. 4. 5. You can see how strong Knight is too, eh? 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. Okay, let's scan him now. Oh, we woke up. Here comes the Thundara. That's fine, because Garnet's bulky right now, yeah. So you got that magic def. So he should be pretty close. Like, I imagine 1 or 2 more poison ticks will kill him. He should be eatable at this point. You have to actually be careful. If something you're eating is, like, we have to wait for, like, I would say 2 more poison ticks. 1... 2. So you have to be careful. This is why, wait. Well, this is why active can be brutal. If we try to eat this and it dies before Quenya finishes her eating animation, she cannot eat it. Right? It will say, I know can eat because it's dead already. So you have to be careful about that. That's why, another reason why active can be pretty brutal. There you go. We got Goblin Punch. Let's actually look at Goblin Punch. Goblin Punch, I think, is, Goblin Punch is kind of hard to use. Although, because we have Scan, it's a little easier. Because, as you can imagine, Goblin Punch works the same as it does in every game. It causes... It's basically just a weak physical attack, but if you are the same level as the enemy, it does a ton of damage. So it's another one of those cheese spells where it's basically like, if you're the same level, you get big damage. And also, yeah, level 4 Holy is pretty straightforward. It works exactly like you might think. It's just, it does fairly good damage at this point in the game if a monster is level, like, equal to like level 4 in some regard. Like if their level is divisible by 4. Anyways, we can finally go ahead and get us a Chocobo on the outer continent. Now we can go look treasure hunting. So I think they said the description is like there's a beach near a huge dying forest, right? And just wouldn't you know it, right over here, look at this big patch of forest. And a big like glob over there. So as you can imagine, you know, you don't even necessarily need the hint because like if you look, you can already kind of tell. Like look at this. Looks very similar. Right? Let's look at it off in the distance. Can I get the camera lower? Doesn't really want to, Well, you can tell it's here, so we dig like pretty much like right around here, I think. Forget exactly where. Maybe we're close to like the middle here, yeah. It's usually in the middle of the picture, but not always. You get some pinions, a down, some paradots, and diamond gloves. Can't actually use those gloves, of course, because, you know, we don't have any knights with us. But the paradots are actually really nice. And you might not realize why, but, you know, we'll learn more about that later. I'm not going to go over that right now. Because it's a mechanic that's kind of subtly implied through the presence of, like, certain things you get throughout the game, but is never explicitly stated. Anyways, let's... oh yeah, also, we can finally see the world map for the first time, now that we're on the outer continent. So you can see Fossaroo there, and there's nowhere else over here. But we can see, like, this is what the outer continent looks like. And there's 2 other continents over here we don't know what they're called yet. Is there a way to... Oh yeah, you can use the L1 and R1s to cycle through map locations, too. Like, kind of just go through this, which is pretty nice. I'm trying to think if there's anything you can do that's, like... If I press circle, it, like, removes the dots. You can also look up how to walk around, which is not something they tell you, but if you press triangle, you know, if you just press buttons, it'll come up. Doesn't look like there's a way to, like, get the names, though, which is a little bit of a shame, but whatever. Anyways, we can head into this Q's Marsh here. It's question mark, but I mean, it's a Q's Marsh. And we can do some frog hunting, because, like, why not? Compared to the first marsh we were at, though, there's some differences. It's the same, like, first couple maps. Because, like, we'll even see, even this guy's here. I just need directions. What? This is your first time in the Outer Continent, you don't know where to go? On your way here, you saw a flat building shaped like a bridge, right? Try going there first. The screens are a little different, like the brush is in a different spot. This is where we'll see there's a big difference, though. Because the frog area is way different. This area is actually a lot harder to hunt frogs in. Yeah, and we can go ahead and catch some frogs. Quinn will actually mention this, too, when we finish up. I'll point that out. Pretty hard to catch frogs here, unless you know about the trick where you just button mash near the frog. Though even that doesn't always work. We know there's at least one more dude hanging out. Let me look. Is there any other males? There's definitely one down there, so... Obviously you want to be careful, right? You know. You don't want to accidentally get rid of all the frogs of the same gender, because then you kind of bone yourself. There you go, got that female. So we have 2 male frogs up here, so we can catch this one. Gotcha, bitch. I guess I shouldn't call him a bitch, because, you know... Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Because he's not a dog, right? I'm so funny. Dang. You can see why it's hard, though. There's certain spots where the frogs will hang out that it's... You have to, like, go all the way around if you want to catch them. It'd be pretty brutal. Butt mash, there you go. Hey, there's Quail. You working hard, Quina. So even though we're in a different frog marsh, Quail will still come over to give us stuff. Got an elixir. Not bad. For what it is. I mean, we're powering up Frog Drop, and we're also getting stuff for hunted frogs. Like, why not? There you go. We got 16. We have 1 male and 1 female frog left, so we'll just go ahead and leave that. So if Quina will mention, had enough? It's hard to catch frogs here, yeah, because it definitely is. I done catching. So we have 16 frogs now, and that's multiplied by Quina's level. So we're doing, like, we're quickly jumping up in damage. Like, before we would have been doing, like, about 180-ish. Now we're doing, like, somewhere in the realm of, like, 300 damage. Like, just, like, based on quick math, quick mental multiplication. It'd be, like, in the range of, like, 300-ish, I'd say. Can you get encounters here? I don't think you can in the actual frog area. Only, like, the front screens. Walk over here to the sides to see some bush. There's nothing to do in these side areas, but, you know, it's cool that they're here. Like, you can kind of... You know, it makes it feel more swampy that there's actually areas over here. It's not just a straight path, you know. Also getting encounters. So, the Q's Marshes tend to have a couple similar encounters. Like, I think you can find, yeah, Gagan Toads at every Q's Marsh. So you always have an opportunity to get Frog Drop if you haven't gotten it yet. I actually forget which one's the stronger one off the top of my head. Alright, we're gonna finish this guy off with Vivi. Can Vivi do his victory animation now? Not quite. You can see, like, you know, certain characters obviously experience this a lot. I don't think, off the top of my head, I don't think, like, Quina never does, I don't think. And neither does Zidane, I don't think. I'm not even sure if Freya does, even though we were in her homeland, but I guess she's so confident in herself, it doesn't really matter. Just funny I say that, because that's almost kind of a plot point, that she's, like, insecure. She's secure about her, like, it's weird. Freya's a weirdly, like, intricate character in that regard. Because it's not like... I doubt they would just forget something like that. Like, they made a conscious decision to not have Freya be emotionally distraught by this kind of thing. By the... 2 damage. By the events of the, you know, all the genocide, you know, all that stuff I'm having a hard time articulating. You saw that Mug there did, like, 2 damage. I think Mug is partially based on what you're stealing from, too. And it's based on their level and your spirits. I forget what the exact formula is, but I'll go over it. So, like, when you're stealing from low-level things, you don't really do much damage. Head all the way over to the left, you just kind of see the edge here, but there's nothing here. Ah, the encounter rate here is pretty high, huh? Jeez. I might start running from stuff. I think there's one. There should be one new monster in here, but we just keep fighting toads. There we are, Sagahans. Or Sagahan? How do you pronounce this guy's name? Sahagin. I'll go with Sahagin. So these guys are actually really fun because, like, look, they went, you know, mega defense, and as you can imagine, that increases their defense by a lot. They can also spray water at you for some damage. But yeah, they don't take much damage if you steal. You can actually do damage from them with stealing, because Mug doesn't care about defense. I think eating these guys might give you Mighty Guard, which would make sense. That's what I'm thinking would make sense, but I don't know. They're not super tough. They're like a purely optional encounter. Like if you don't hang out in the marshes for too long, you'll probably never even see these guys. You can see them in the water area in like outside the marsh too, like on the world map. They're also kind of weird because they have both water gun and water, and it's both just a single target water spell, so it's kind of weird in that regard if you think about it. Nice damage. Let's just smack you with thunder. This might be enough to kill you, or it might not be. Who knows? Not quite. They will try eating you. The thing with their shell defense is that while it gives them max defense, they can't do anything while they're doing it, I'm pretty sure. Like, he just sat there and did nothing until all of a sudden he goes out of his shell and now he can attack us again. So it's kind of weird in that regard, if you think about it. And of course they can stab us with their spear. Also, as you can see, if you don't steal anything from a monster, Zidane doesn't actually do damage. Tastes bad, yeah. I don't know what those guys would give. I'm pretty sure it's Mighty Guard, but I can't be 100% on that. Do 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 ba boo do do do. Let's look at our stuff. We learned counter, so is there anything else? I mean, yeah, you can get clear-headed, put on the fairy earrings for more spirit. I'll wait for that when we have the deep sword equipped. So let's just get clear-headed for now. Can Garnet get anything from those robes? No. We'll almost have Millionaire with Quina, though. That'll be awesome, because Quina will finally start getting some other stuff. Oh, we can give her the Silk Robe. Why not? Give him that sweet Silk Robe. Look at that defense and stat increase. The robes are stupidly good. I don't know why they're so good. Like, it is weird to me. Because, like, you look at Zidane, like, he has 17 defense with this robe. And, like, or with his equipment on. And I don't think, what else would that? He only gets defense from that. Meanwhile, you look at them, and it's like, oh, the robe gives them, the Silk Robe gives them 16 defense. So it's like, it's barely worse. And it also gives magic defense. It gives 2, and it gives strength and magic. Like, it's crazy how good they actually are. Do bow 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 bow. Maybe there's another magic song. Can we equip anything with that? I'm trying to think what we're gonna encounter in the near future. I guess just antibody. Alright. It almost looks like you can go into the brush there, but you can't. It's kind of interesting because the screens are very similar at each of the 4 I guess I just spoiled it. There's 4 marshes. I mean, screw it, whatever. Who cares? There's 4 marshes in the game, and while they're all very similar looking, they all have different screens. Other than like the first screen's always the same boardwalk. It's interesting to me that they even went to the, bother of like making them different instead of just making them all the same. At that point, we'll go to one more place because we can head over here to this forest area before we go to the bridge area, and we're actually gonna call it quits when we get to the bridge area. We can head over here to this forest area. It's just a question mark. The thing is that when we walk in here, it actually doesn't change from question mark to anything else because if you try to like go anywhere in here, you actually can't go anywhere. This road leads to a dead end, and they even tell you this, so we're not gonna bother. Just want to point out that this exists right now. You can go here, but there's nothing to do here. There are encounters here. There's stuff you can eat. I think nothing that we haven't already had though, because like I think one of them's another bird with white wind, and there's something else, but I think it's nothing special. Yeah, we'll call it quits here. So let's run over here to this bridge area that the Moogle was talking about. We're gonna use a tent. We're gonna call it. Actually, we're not even gonna bother using a tent because spoilers. This is a city we can go to. You can kind of see it from here. It's like two big arches, and you can kind of see how it's like a little entrance on the left there. Some other stuff. So we're not even gonna bother healing because it's kind of a townish place. You can heal inside without using a tent. So yeah, that'll be it for this part. It's funny I say it, but man, this half part's gonna be one bondo of a video. So yeah, see you guys later.